Hi, my name is Rena Corral Garcia, and I am going to go over a little bit of my class assignment for Bio 230. And today is November this 12th, 2017. To start off with, let's go through. I'm going to be talking about the epithelial, the connective, the muscle, and the nervous tissue. And the first one would be epithelial tissue. This one here, this one gave me some trouble, and I'm going to be getting some help from my manual. But the epithelial tissue, basically, it helps protect the body from any, like, there's just lots of layers of epithelial, and it protects the body from external or internal, and things that the body doesn't need, like it's like excess barrier, the epithelial tissue. So for the external environment that protects the body, it would be the skin. So obviously the skin here, protects us from the external environment, keep things that are not wanted or that are not healthy out of the body. But sometimes it still gets into our body. And then we have the barriers of the internal epithelial tissue. And that could be used like our esophagus. We have epithelial tissue in there, and it's got like little hair-like, ciliated hair-like object projections that help if something gets into our throat. It causes it to secrete mucus, and these little hair-like things move around, and they help get that out of our body. And we have that throughout our body. We even have it in our stomach, and that one's called villi. But that's a little bit breakdown of the epithelial tissue. So it's multiple layers, and those layers can be either simple epithelial tissue, which is one layer, striated epithelial tissue, which is multiple layers, transitional epithelial tissue, that's also multiple layers, and that can be found in the ureters, the bladder, because it expands. But those are protective barriers of epithelial tissue. The next is connective tissue, and that's all over our body, found in between the tissues of other tissues. So it's kind of like keeps it like a sandwich meshed in there. And it helps protect tissue and also like stick together. Types of connective tissue are loose tissue, dense tissue, blood, and supportive tissue. Now, loose tissue and connective tissue, for me, looks like a little web like, and I'll show you a picture here. If you could see, this is loose connective tissue, and this is dense connective tissue. Now, the difference between loose connective tissue is there's not a lot of fibers in there, and it's just kind of like loose, and less fibers. And you can see it under the skin, around small glands. The dense connective tissue, that's the one here, and it's pretty dense. See, this one kind of looks like there's a little bit more free space. This one here looks like just kind of more thicker, and it has more fibers, so a lot of fibers, and it's strong, and it can be found in the tendons and the ligaments, and tissues that cover the muscles and the nerves. Another connective tissue is adipose. Basically, that's just fat, which it's all over the body. In more areas, it's more abundant than others. And there's two types of adipose tissue. Well, adipose tissue helps protect the body, and it also helps keep the body warm. And it protects organs also, from friction too. Like if it's kind of like from friction, like kind of like a little support, little bounce support. It also we have two adipose tissues, and one is white and one is brown. And the white stores energy, and the brown helps to regulate body heat. Another connective tissue is blood, and blood is mobile. It's all over our body. You can find it in the blood vessels, veins, arteries, capillaries. And